Good afternoon, guys. Tyler Secrist here. Today's episode, we're going to talk about how to have a successful decorating appointment when building a new house.
Welcome to the Weekly Tea. Look, I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and I'm cool with that.
Hey guys, Tyler Secrist here. Welcome to South Carolina. We're here for the week, shooting a ton of content. I'm newly licensed down here, finishing building my home down here, and I thought what better opportunity to create a video like this as I'm going through it again. I've built several homes for myself and as investments, so naturally I've got a ton of expertise and experience and little tips that I can share with you guys, and this is one topic and element that can go a long way. And I highly encourage you to watch this and make note of this, because if you go through this, your build, when you decide to build, it'll go so much more seamless if you do a lot of the things that I'm about to say. All right, the first one is gonna be, I'm gonna sound like a broken record. Get with your real estate professional, whether that's your agent, your broker, a new home sales specialist that works for a specific builder that you know and trust. Get with that individual. Make sure that individual is very well-rounded. Make sure they handle a lot of transactions from little deals up to big deals. Make sure they've personally built properties for themselves. Make sure that they've gone through it and guided other people successfully. All of those experiences you're gonna be able to, I guess, learn from, and they should just have all of that to help guide you. So that's step number one. Step number two would be to figure out what's standard, figure out what's an upgrade. That's gonna allow you to know where to pick your battles. If you don't like what's in the standard selections and you need to upgrade, naturally, you're gonna wanna know how much it costs to do that. If you've got a budget, you're gonna wanna know, okay, what can I fit in the budget? What happens if you have a ton of standard stuff that you don't like and you have to upgrade everything and now you're over budget? You then have to compromise and kind of pick and choose your battles. If you have somebody who's very well experienced and who has gone through it, and you have a specific look in your mind, they can help you choose other products that may not be as superior in quality, but can still give you the same look to free up money to put elsewhere where you really want it. So figure out your parameters. What's standard, what's upgraded. Step number two is a big one, and I probably didn't learn this until I built my second home, is figure out what's a finishing selection and what's a structural selection. And what that means is there are some things that you're gonna wanna put in place while the house is being framed or while it's being roughed in that you can't do after the fact, or will be very expensive and very challenging to do after the fact. The biggest one that comes to mind, because I was literally just on the phone with somebody about it, would be like an RO system, a water filtration system. I don't want to say it's inexpensive, because it is expensive. It's more economical to rough that in while the walls are exposed than to put one in after the fact, after the house is complete. You're gonna wanna know when to do that. In my case and opinion, builders aren't gonna really bring that up until the very very end, or the ones that do at the beginning, they really don't. It's hit or miss at the beginning, which is kind of sad. It kind of falls on your responsibility. So, if you're buying rural land and you're on a well, make sure you're getting your water tested to figure out what you're actually drinking. A lot of people don't do that. In northeastern Indiana, we have very hard water. So I would spend time understanding what's structural and then what's, what you can do after the fact. That way you can make those decisions when you need to make them. The third one will be to do some homework. I was building so much for myself personally and helping other people build so much. I noticed and I started making note of a lot of the common questions or issues that I was getting. And that I created a ton of social assets and graphics that helped people kind of fill those gaps to help them. Like I've got stuff to budget a new build. I've got like a pre-decorating selection sheet that I provide, because every builder does it differently. Each decorating selection, some do a fantastic job and it's so detailed, it's kind of overwhelming. Others, it's awful. They've got like 6 things on it and there's like hundreds of things that go into a new build. So again, getting with somebody who can fill the gaps, who can say, hey, these are all the selections that you're gonna make. Making the decision may not be the challenging part. It's knowing what decision to make, how much you can spend, and when to make it those are the little details that can help you effectively make decisions and help you kind of put the house together and be mindful of. Because yeah, you may want this color tile, and then this color tile, but did they ask you about the grout? And if you choose this grout, well, does it look good with the cabinet that you're doing on top of that countertop and then the hardware? So like it just one step after one step after one step. You need someone very visual in your corner to kind of help you think outside the box and see it from a very grand picture. And just little things that you can do when you're before the meeting, in the meeting, and then after the meeting to help you really put together a beautiful, well-designed home. But that's a big one is doing some homework, and I would do this privately. So your agent or your new home sales specialist that you're working with, they should give you a blank decorating sheet in advance to allow you to come to the meeting prepared. Come prepared. We can make that number 4 or number 3-A. Come prepared. And coming in prepared is getting that sheet. Women typically have like Pinterest accounts. They've got all these things saved. Men, we kind of just know what we like off the top of our head. I highly encourage you to get a decorating sheet ahead of time and then have a private conversation with you and your partner, or if it's you yourself, just fill it out. I've seen some couples get into decorating appointments, get in huge fights because they went into it blindly, and this person liked this and this person wanted that, and like they got emotional about it and they got into a fight. And it took a decorating appointment that could be knocked out in a day or two. It took weeks. And the sooner you get your selections made, the sooner the builder can order these selections and the faster he can get the home built. If you drag your feet during the selection, or if you're wishy-washy, or if you're always changing stuff last minute because you didn't think things through, all that's gonna do is add frustration on your end, it's gonna add frustration on the builder's end, and it's gonna delay the build, and it's just a recipe for disaster, honestly. So come prepared, get that decorating sheet, know what you want or have a really good idea. And it's okay to not know exactly what you want, because when you go into the showroom or when you're meeting with these vendors, you may have the color, but like, do you want some texture? Do you want some shine? Do you want some, there's little things that you're gonna make on site, but if you know the general color palette, it's just gonna make, a 5-hour appointment. You can get it done in 20 minutes. Have that private conversation together. Try to come to the table as prepared as you can, and then make those tough decisions on site. But that's the other thing too, is it gives you more time to make some of those decisions. If you've got 10 selections to make and this, 7 of them off the bat, you can really spend a good 3, on those other 3 selections, you can spend some good time really trying to figure that out, looking at all your options and touching and feeling and kind of piecing together. Another tip is to, like I said, some builders do things differently. Some have a showroom where they have everything in one location. Those are gonna be your bigger builders. They've got more overhead, they've just got more buying power, so they're gonna have more stuff to where it's kind of like a one-stop shop. Smaller operation, he might send you to 20 different subcontractors and suppliers. And what's tough is if you're visual, which the majority of people are visual, it's tough to keep all of that organized. So again, if you have someone in your corner, they can help you, but take pictures and video. So when you're in these meetings and you make all your selections, put them all together. If you've got a picture of it, you can take those paint cards and you can take those flooring samples and you can run them up next to each other to get a really good idea of what it's gonna look like. Take pictures of the selections that you do make when they're all together, so you've got a good visual, kind of like a vision board of what you got. And yeah. Okay guys, so that's gonna wrap up this video. Those are all the main key points that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure I'm leaving out a couple, but if you can remember all those things, or just save this video if you're gonna build a house in the near future, come back to it and watch this piece before you go do it. I promise you're gonna have a much more positive experience. It's just gonna be fun. So like always, if you've made it this far, like, share, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one.